What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news that I'm going to be talking about with you guys. This time it is currently being reported that the New York Knicks are interested in potentially trying to get Eric Gordon in a buyout, or even actually look at some potential trades to, get him to the team. This is all being reported by Evan Macy. Now, I think this is a pretty interesting one. I think if Eric Gordon was to be bought out, it would actually be perfect for him to go to the New York Knicks, because the Knicks absolutely love their defensive players, and he's just a player that would really fit into Tom Thibodeau's kind of lineup. And at the time of making this video, they are currently 2-8 in their last 10 games, have a 13-17 record, and it's just not looking too good this season. Although some players seem to, really still want to come to New York, seem to know that they've got somewhat of a future, and looks like this could just be one of those seasons where it's like, well, we're going to take a step backwards to actually go forwards. One of those seasons, because again, I think eventually players like Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin, I think they're about to explode as players. RJ Barrett could as well. Again, I'm not as keen on RJ Barrett as I know some people are. Just really worry about his, streakiness, and, I guess kind of his defense can definitely be a tiny bit inconsistent, but that's just my opinions, and I know a lot of people definitely disagree. I'm not saying that RJ Barrett couldn't be a really good player. I'm just saying that I'm not as keen on him as what some other people are, but I am very keen on Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley will be 23 next year, and Obi Toppin will be 24. So you expect both of them to actually, have kind of their coming into it type of seasons where they're, starting to play some good ball, I would think, next season. Again, Toppin has struggled for minutes because he's had to play behind Julius Randle, but I think eventually they got to find a way to get them both on the court at the same time. I don't know if it will ever work, but I don't know. It's just a really tough decision for them. Plus, then you got Emmanuel Quickley, who's a really like a combo guard, but also I think you definitely need to give him big minutes in the future. Look, he's only playing 21 to 22 minutes per game right now, but I think eventually he's got to be one of those guys that I think will be a six-man in his career, but has to play around 25 to 30 minutes per night. I think he will explode into being something like that eventually. We just got to give him time. But I think, as I'm trying to say, a lot of New York, or a lot of just players in general, really do know that the New York Knicks could definitely be a very good team in the future, and there's still kind of a lot to, kind of digest around them and just kind of see, well, how they're going to go. Again, as I said, I think it's going to be one of those, let's take a step backwards to actually go forward. I think Eric Gordon would actually be pretty good for this team, because he's a really good defensive player, he's a really good veteran, and he's actually having a really good season, averaging nearly 15 points per game, on 3 assists, on 44% from 3. So I think he's perfect for the Knicks, because not only is he a elite defender that can guard 1 through 3, but he's also a guy that is very good at three-point shooting, especially at the moment. Again, usually he's pretty average at around, he tends to go from 32% to like 37%, depending what season we're, of course, talking about. But again, this season he's taken to a whole new level, and he's shooting a lot of threes, and it's actually been better for the Rockets than what Jalen Green was when he was playing, which is absolutely crazy to think. And yeah, he's been one of the reasons the Rockets have been really good. If you're the Rockets, I think you're absolutely stupid, though, to let him go on a buyout. I just think that there must be so much there must be such a big market for Eric Gordon right now. I mean, in 30 minutes per game, he's averaging 15 and 40% from 3, and being one of the best defenders still on the court. That's really good. Since he's come back and he's doing his thing, the Rockets, ended up coming from 2 wins to 10 wins, and have actually won 5 out of their last 10 games. So they're actually doing all right now. I think you really got to, just, I guess, kind of keep him as well. I would actually keep him on the Rockets, because the Rockets have so many young players like Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., even players like Jashawn Tate are still only 26. Even Alperen Şengün's there, Josh Christopher, as I said, Jalen Green, Christian Woods, not too old either. I think it's one of those situations where I just think you need a veteran guy in the locker room, and I think you just absolutely gotta, kind of give that opportunity to see if he can be that guy, because, yeah, I just don't think you can trade away all these players and just have a bunch of young players on the team. Then you'll be left with a 29-year-old Daniel Tice and a, I guess, 34-year-old DJ Augustin, who doesn't even want to be in the team. Let's be honest. DJ Augustin, I think, wants to go elsewhere. And, yeah, Daniel Tice would be your vet at 29 years of age. So, I think You've got to keep Eric Gordon, and he's on good money. I don't think he'll care if he plays on a bad team for another year or two, because I believe he's still got a year left after this season on like 17 million. So it's just like, well, he's not going to want to leave at all. I don't think it will actually happen. And I feel like if the Knicks really want him, they're going to have to trade for him. And I don't know, maybe this is their way of sending away Kemba Walker and a couple second-round picks to get him. But again, if I'm the Rockets, I'm not doing that deal. Kemba Walker, I don't think makes too much difference to this Rockets team. Doesn't really make sense to have him on. You're pretty much trading away a really, really good veteran for a player who's not in the rotation at the moment. I don't think makes too much sense for this Rockets team. And you get a couple second-round picks back, which really doesn't make sense for them. So if you're the Knicks and you're a Knicks fan, you're really praying that Eric Gordon falls to that buyout market. So I think he's a dude that can come in and play around 20 to 25 minutes per game, score you around 10 points per game, and even if he keeps that 3-point percentage up, 40% from 3 is a really good thing, and he can guard 1 through 3. We all know about this by now. He would be an absolutely perfect fit for this New York Knicks team. Plus, Tom Thibodeau really does love his defensive type of players, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just, kind of said, well, let's just keep this defensive type of game going. Let's, of course, just bring him in. We'll see how we go, and I think it will be a really, really interesting thing to see if they can kind of figure out some sort of arrangement here. But as I said, in my opinion, I don't think the Houston Rockets get this deal done. I think there should be a couple of teams, although, that do try and get Eric Gordon, that maybe have, who even knows, maybe they have some contract swaps they could potentially do. I definitely think there is a couple out there, If we do really look at it and we want to get in depth with the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a team contending right now, I don't think they're in a rush to trade away any of their young players. But they got dudes like Jarrett Culver, who's really barely getting minutes, that might actually be able to go to this Rockets team and somewhat revive his career. He's only playing 9 minutes per game this season. Even a dude like, Brandon Clark, the Rockets could heavily target. He's still young and he's barely getting minutes now. That could be a situation that they do look like they could, go out and do. Memphis would kind of love that, I think, but I don't know if they're necessarily in a rush to get rid of their young players, as of what, at the time of making this video. Philadelphia 76ers could be keen on him. They could also be keen on John Wall. We've heard about a Ben Simmons trade for so long now, where you'd think that something would eventually, have to happen eventually. But yeah, those are a couple of the teams that I think the New York Knicks do have players they could trade, like Kemba Walker. Kevin Knox could also be an interesting target. Maybe the Rockets could go after. They could go after Mitchell Robinson as well. I think he'd be pretty good for this Rockets team. The Rockets just, I guess, need a center. They've got Alpha and Şengün, Christian Wood, but I think Christian Wood's been playing a little bit more. I can't even remember how. I think he's playing a bit of power forward this season. I don't even know. I don't know if that's working. But if Christian Wood's playing center, then they probably don't need a center. If he's playing power forward, they might need one, of course. Maybe just go out and get a dude like Mitchell Robinson in. Then I think that would be an interesting situation. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on, of course, the New York Knicks targeting Eric Gordon? Do you guys think it'd be a good idea? Do you guys think it'd be a bad idea? Again, I definitely would really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/vlogging channels, and check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. All of them will be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.